Hello once again, this is Roofmonger and our friend Isaac Peacekeeper Bot, and we're here for another character walkthrough, this time the Lawbringer, the Knight class. So, the real quick basics, the Lawbringer is like the most defensive class in the game, bar none. It has a very handy ability, which we'll get its own section, the Shove, which is the entire reason for being for the class. Without the Shove, there is no Lawbringer. With that, if you like guard breaking people, you will get more guard break attempts with the Lawbringer than any other class. Easily, hands down. So if you like pushing people around, this is your dude. So with that said, let's quickly go into the class. Alright, so first up, let's just go over his basic attack strings. He has 3.5. So they are light, heavy, light. Light, heavy, heavy. As you can see here, the second heavy of that string, either top or side, always grants an unblockable attack. And heavy, light, heavy. And now as for the half, if you do heavy, light, heavy, if the second heavy attack is a top attack, you can get a light follow-up. As you can see there, quick little hit of the axe butt. So, before we go any further here, I just want to mention two things about these normals. So, number one, as you can just see, as clear as day in the video, his attacks are a bit slow. His top light attack is easily his fastest attack. It's actually fast by any character standard, so that's pretty handy. It doesn't do much damage, but it lets you do some can opener offense on people. And secondly, the other top attack, his top heavy. Now, as you can see there, it causes the blind effect, as he actually hits him with the hammer end of the poleaxe, not the axe head end. So it's a big thing to keep in mind, and is a very important part of his game, as we'll go into in a second. Next up, we're just going over his zone attack, and now honestly, it's completely uninspired. I don't really find much use for it. It's not fast, it doesn't have much range, it's just kind of mediocre all around. Now, since I said top heavy, let's go back to it real quick. So first off the guard break, you do have a guaranteed side heavy attack. There's nothing anyone can do about this, they just have to eat it if you get a guard break. Now, that said, the top heavy does do more damage than the side heavy, and the only way to guarantee it is off a wall bounce. So if we can manage to bounce him off the wall, that move is guaranteed. So on top of doing more damage, you will also blind them, and you can get a nice little mix-up afterwards. You go for a side attack, another guard attempt, or guard break attempt rather, or kind of the world's your oyster after that point. That top heavy guaranteed attack is a very big deal off the wall bounce. As you see later in the shove section, you'll get many attempts to guard break people. So with that said, let's go to the next session detailing the run attack and his unblockable. Like most of the other classes in the game, he has a running attack. Simply hit heavy attack while running, and we will shove the class around. Now, if you hold the button, that was just a tab. If you hold the button, now we see here move great further. And we also got a wall splat, which is in keeping with the theme that he wants to hit people off the walls. Now, next up, we have the unblockable attack. Now, fair warning, it's very easily dodged. It's very slow, as we'll see here. So you simply hit away and guard break, and you flip the mass over tea kettle. Now if you are near a ledge, it's a great alternative to the guard break, as they cannot tech this move. And also, you are guaranteed a free top light attack afterwards. It's not a lot of damage, especially considering how like grandiose the whole maneuver is. But it is guaranteed, so it's good to know. Alright, and now next on to the shove, which is the whole reason you're playing the class to begin with. Alright, now for the shove. This is the entire reason the class is being played. It's their strongest maneuver, and it dictates whether or not how well you use the shove, if you win or you lose with this class. So there's two ways to do it. You can either dash forward, or side to side, and hit guard break. Or after any blocked attack, you can hit guard break and you'll do it. Splicey. Another way to get shove is this actually can be done off any successful, I mean it's not blocked, but successful heavy attack. As you can see there. So one thing about this is kind of a mini loop. which isn't guaranteed, but say you get the guard break, you get your side heavy guaranteed, you can go right back into the shove. So you can go heavy, shove, guard break, and so on and so forth. So a little tidbit to keep in mind. Alright, so what does the shove get you? So first off, if you look at the bot's stamina, see, it actually takes stamina, as stamina breaking is one of the best things that the Lawbringer is good at, and it is a big part of their game. Now after this, it counts as a chain starter, so any combo you have, it'll actually start on hit number 2. So let's try what is normally the light heavy heavy string. It is now just shove, heavy, and heavy again into the unblockable. Another thing with the shove here is after any given shove, you get a free attempt to guard break, as you can see right there. Now this is what I meant earlier by amount of guard break attempts is much higher for the Lawbringer than any class in the game by a mile. As after every one of these guys, if you do it raw or the blocked version, you'll get an attempt. Now that said, it is just that, it's an attempt, it's not guaranteed in any way, shape, or form. They can try to backdash it, they can try to hit you out of it if they know it's coming, but that's why we have to mix up and say, they try to hit you out of it, you can hit them first. And this combos also into other moves too. You can go right into your flip move if you want. And it's basically a multi-pronged guessing game. But the main attempt, most of the time, will be the guard break just to keep them on their toes. So keep that in mind. Because if you do succeed, once again, it's always a free side heavy attack. And if you're near a wall, you can shove them into the wall for a free top heavy attack, which also has the blind. Now, one thing to keep in mind for the shove in and of itself does not have the wall splat property. So I can keep bouncing the bot off the wall here. They're not going to go. This doesn't work like the Conquerors. Now next up, I'm just going to show you a little montage of kind of how to use it from some of my personal games. So it'll both be involving shoving people around, trying to get guard breaks or mix-ups, and also how to abuse them once their stamina broken, because the class is excellent at that. Alright, now to mention the parry attacks. They are the top parry unblockable, the side parry stab, which is similar to the running attack, the any parry light attack, and the parry into the zone attack. Now, when it's all said and done, honestly, these are all kind of awful options. Most of them can be blocked or parried. The light attack is guaranteed, but the unblockable and the running attack one are not. So 9 times out of 10 you are just better off going for the parry into guard break into side heavy attack. Now that said, the top unblockable attack with the parry, if you manage to parry a light attack, then the unblockable is guaranteed. So that is kind of a feather in the cap. But for 9 times out of 10, you just want to parry, guard break, side heavy. Alright, so in summation, the main goal of the Peacekeeper is not to deal damage, although you obviously want to deal damage to win, but is to constantly keep the enemy's stamina drained. Once the enemy is stam broken, you dictate the pace. Their offense is over. So they still have all their defensive options, sure, but they have to use them versus trying to mount any sort of offense. And once you have that, the ball's in your court. Now, a lot of what I've shown earlier is a lot about the shove into the guard break. It's fantastic. But keep in mind, once you start fighting better people, they will start taking the throws. Like, it's not guaranteed in any way, shape, or form. But that said, nobody's perfect. You will get a guard break in every now and then, but once you start fighting those better players, just make sure you start shoving into a mix-up. Like, don't always go for the guard break. It's great, and it's the best reward for sure, but there's other options on the table. Keep them on their toes. So that said, I find it a very fun class. You will have to play slow, but on the flip, so will they. And people who are easily frustrated, like say most of the Orochi players, will just start going berserk and going in, and once you have that, the game's kind of in your hands. So I hope this helped you, and go out and fight for honor.